So Hillary Clinton gave her DNC speech last night, and in my opinion, it was so-so. I give it about a C+, so it's kind of in the ballpark of how Donald Trump's speech was. She started super duper duper weak. I mean, it was bad. I was tweet storming it. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, you already know that, but I was going in because basically the first 20 minutes to even maybe as long as 30 minutes of the speech, it was all about, oh, my family, they're so great. My family's awesome. And then I have great friends too. And I want to thank them. And let me run through my resume and give you my job titles. I've been first lady and I've been a senator and I've done this and I've done that. And it was just all personal stuff mixed in with insufferable cliches and platitudes. And you guys, I'm basically allergic to cliches and platitudes. Those of you who've been listening to the show for a long time know that that's the case. Because you know what it is? I view them as a cheap substitute for policy substance. If you're a politician and you're saying shit like, we need to break down the barriers, yippee skippy, not only do I dislike it, I think you're actively trying to cover up for the fact that you have no real policy ideas. And, she says shit like, we're stronger together. Nobody can do it alone. We gotta come together. But what does that mean? What practically does that mean for the American people? What policies will you be pushing for? These are just vague generalities where you're trying to get people to nod along and go, yes, she likes good things, not bad things. This is very good. So I despise that kind of stuff. So the first 30 minutes of the speech, which was jam-packed with that stuff, honestly, I give it an F, the first 20 to 30 minutes of the speech. It was just horrific. Now, also in that first 30 minutes, I kid you not a single mention of the TPP, not a single mention of climate change, not a single mention of taxes, not a single mention of the minimum wage, not a single mention of regulation, not a single mention of war. Remember, guys, these speeches are also on, the last speakers, they take the stage pretty late. I don't remember exactly when it was, so don't quote me on this, but 10:20-ish, 10:30-ish people take the stage, and it's like, I don't know, on a Thursday night, I feel like a lot of people probably fall asleep even before the speech, or they watch the first little bit of it, and then they go to sleep, so they're going to go away with the taste in their mouth of, I don't know. It was just too much about her and her fluff video. Jesus, I don't even want to get into that because that was I think I vomited. I may have actually vomited and blacked out while I vomited. So I'm not even sure if I vomited, but I vomited because it was narrated by Morgan Freeman. What the fuck are you? It was it was Hollywood produced and over the top. And then Hillary had such an important decision to make. And she was there on 9/11, I say. She was there. The Democratic Rudy Giuliani was there. 9/11. Did I mention 9/11? So it was just bad. But after that, fair is fair, guys. No matter what you think of Hillary Clinton, you got to be as objective as possible when viewing these things and try to view it through the eyes of your average Joe who might not know much about politics and is just coming to it as a casual observer. She turned it on after that. She got pretty specific with policies. She did this thing where she would say, if you believe X, then you should join us. And it was something that she went on and on with, and the entire time she was getting pretty loud cheers and applause lines because she was saying stuff like, if you believe we should increase the minimum wage, you should join us. If you believe, fill in the blank with whatever genuinely liberal idea, then you should join us. She actually did take some time in her speech to thank Bernie Sanders, and look, obviously this is political pandering, but she said everybody should be as excited as Bernie's supporters were for him, for politics in general. Your struggle is our struggle, stuff like that. Nice symbolic gesture, but again, I agree with the people who would say, write that one off because that's just pandering, and she knows on some level she needs those people, and that's what she does. Okay, but the speech really peaked when she ripped Trump's throat out. So she had some really good lines, here's one of the best ones. A man you can bait with a tweet is not a man we can trust with nuclear weapons. When she said that, I think I tweeted that I think she's been watching Secular Talk. or she's had some staffers who've watched Secular Talk. Not that they can't figure that out on their own. I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to figure out when you look at Donald Trump. But I've said before, that's like one of my number one lines of attack against him is that I find it really hard to wrap my mind around the idea that a guy who has that much thin skin and is that impulsive, that you can trust that guy with an army, the most powerful army in human history, and nuclear launch codes. Even if you think Hillary's horrendous, and everybody who listens to the show, they know I do. But you have to admit, just purely on the issue of temperament, and I'm not saying that's the end-all be-all when picking a president, but yes, on the issue of temperament, you look at Donald Trump and it's like, oh, come on. Seriously? That guy should have nuclear weapons? If you believe that, I really do question your honesty. And not just your intelligence, your honesty. Because I feel like even some of Trump's biggest supporters can admit, all right, you know what? Yeah, he's got to reel it in a little bit with the outrage, and it's true, bait him with a tweet. And it's obvious he'll go off, and he acts like me. Like, motherfucker, I'm a YouTuber. And I get baited by tweets. I don't want to be the most powerful person in the world. I think that's crazy. But she's right on that. And she also went on to say something like, if fighting for paid family leave is playing the woman card, then deal me in. I thought that was good too. And the reason I think that's good is because she gave, and it wasn't just fighting for paid family leave. She put one or two other policies in there, but I wasn't able to write it down fast enough. But she inserted policies and then said, if that equals playing the woman card, then yeah, I'm playing the woman card. Because I care about paid family leave. You know, I care about whatever it was, maternity leave and paid vacation time or whatever. I like that. Now, again, you can question whether or not she's honest and really wanted to push for those things, and I probably agree with you that I don't think she'd, really twist arms and bend over backwards to get this stuff done, but these are strong lines of attack. And then she got into Trump stiffing his workers. Huh. Oh, yeah. No, that's a line of attack that is definitely going to work. And you want to know why? Here's why. Because I'm somebody, I don't like Hillary Clinton. But when I hear her talking about Donald Trump stiffing his workers, I nod in agreement. You want to know why? Because it's 100% true. Now, you could flip it back on Hillary and say, yeah, but she's done horrific things too. Like there was a story, I think, out of Haiti where she worked with business leaders there and made it so that they kept the minimum wage lower than what the protesters wanted it to be. So don't get me wrong, there's an ample amount of hypocrisy to go around on this issue and many other issues too. Don't get me wrong. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that Donald Trump did stiff his workers. And Donald Trump did, in fact, pay many people less than minimum wage. So when she says that, regardless of what you think of Hillary Clinton, those things are facts. And so when she says facts about Donald Trump, I'm a loyalist to the facts, so I'm sitting there going, yep, she got him there. She got him there. There's no doubt about it. And, okay, therein lies what I think Trump's kryptonite is. But then she also went on, and honestly, this was probably what I think is the best part of her speech. She spoke about him outsourcing his jobs. And this is a preview of what she can say and a line of attack she can use in the debates. So I want to show you part of that here. Check it out.
He also talks a big game about putting America first. Well, please explain what part of America first leads him to make Trump ties in China, not Colorado, Trump suits in Mexico, not Michigan, Trump furniture in Turkey, not Ohio, Trump picture frames in India, not Wisconsin. Donald Trump says he wants to make America great again. Well, he could start by actually making things in America again.
Devastating. Absolutely devastating. And again, absolutely true. It is true. Now, what's the counter to this? What can Donald Trump say? You supported NAFTA. You supported TPP. So he will counter-argue that, and that will happen in the debates. But guess what? Now all of a sudden you took this that was an issue where it's just a strike against Hillary Clinton. Now it's a wash. Why is it a wash? He has zero credibility when he says, I'm not going to outsource jobs. You literally already outsourced jobs. You outsourced your jobs. So this idea of like, no, I'm going to make everybody bring their jobs back home. You could have already done that for you. You could have led by example and brought back your jobs and then said, yeah, of course. I mean, obviously I'm going to fix this. Look, I already fixed it for myself. Duh. So I'm going to fix it for the country. But he doesn't do that. Why? He has no intentions of doing that. He has no intentions. He's using it as an issue because he knows it strikes a nerve, so he's using it to try to get elected, to try to rise to power. The idea that he's actually principled and he actually cares about the middle class, well, if that was the case, he would have paid his fucking contractors that he stiffed. He didn't. He would have paid people more than minimum wage. He didn't. He paid people less than minimum wage. So, guys, it's arguments like this, whatever you think of Hillary Clinton, that will land and that will work because it's true. So again, he has a counter argument to say, well, you supported NAFTA, so www.shh.com. But guess what? He just made that issue a wash. On the issue of, or she just made that issue a wash. So on the issue of trade, this was an area where it's like, oh, he has a big advantage because he keeps talking about it. He keeps talking about, I'm against trade, I'm against trade, I'm against trade. Well, okay, no, you're not. You outsourced all these different jobs. So clearly you're not against it. You do it yourself. Boom. Wash. So now you have two candidates, by the way, who overwhelmingly are pro-trade. I'm pretty sure both of them will support some sort of disastrous trade deal. Hillary, I guarantee, will flip on the TPP after changing a provision or two, and Donald Trump will probably rename the TPP and then approve it. So don't get me wrong. I think they're both pro-trade, but in terms of how this will go over with the general public, Hillary Clinton using that line of attack will make it a wash, or honestly, it might even give her the upper hand, because that's such a strong argument that it's just devastating. I mean, dude, you can all the time. China, Mexico, China, Mexico, China, Mexico. Oh, my God, they're so terrible, this, that. You have your ties made in China. You have other shit made in Mexico. She said, I didn't even know some of these. China, Mexico, Turkey, India. Yeah, China, Mexico, Turkey, and India. Dude, that's devastating. And when you pop Trump's bubble to his face, because understand, he hasn't experienced that yet. You think Marco dipshit Rubio knows how to counter-argue Trump? Waterboy? He doesn't know how to fucking counter-argue Trump. He doesn't know how to counter-argue anybody. He can't counter-argue a brick wall. You think fucking smarmy bastard Ted Cruz knows how to counter-argue? These guys are so filled to the brim with talking points and political calculation that they can't do shit. Jeb Bush doesn't know how to argue. Trump is right when he says, low energy, low energy. So, but Hillary Clinton, now in the past, I've underestimated her at times where I say, I think Obama could destroy Trump in a debate. I'm not sure if Hillary can. I'm still not sure if Hillary can, but I think she'll do better than I originally thought she would do based on last night's speech. Because there were flickers of, I know what I'm doing. There were flickers of, you think I don't know the right attacks? I know the right attacks. There was another point where she quoted Trump, who said something like, do I know ISIS? I know ISIS better than our best generals. Believe me. Believe me. And Hillary quotes that, and then she says, no, you don't. Boom. The fucking stadium erupts in cheers. Again, whatever you think of Hillary, that's fucking strong because you know she's right on that. You know that fucking buffoon boy Donald Trump doesn't know more about ISIS than our generals. And by the way, this is coming from a guy who personally, I disagree with our generals a lot because I think oftentimes they're too much in that chessboard of view of international politics. But we all know Trump didn't even know the difference between Hamas and Hezbollah. He didn't know the difference between the Kurds and the Quds Force. Obviously, he doesn't know more about ISIS than our generals. So what's my main takeaway here? Well, here's what Hillary needs to do to win. Number one, stop trying to be likable. You're just not. That's a dickish thing to say, but it's true. Stop. You're just not that likable. Now, she has her strong base of, I'm with her people who think she is likable. Fine. That's not most people. It's just not. Even a lot of people who are voting for her are like, fine. So stop trying to be likable. You're just not. Stop with all the family stuff and, first woman president. I'm fine with you bringing that up every once in a while, but don't make a thing of it, which is what you've been doing, because then people start rolling their eyes and they go, all right, we get it, first woman president. It becomes more of an excuse to vote for you than a reason. It's like, well, if all else fails, I am a woman. Don't you want to make history? God damn it, make history. Don't fuck this up for me, America. So it comes across almost as narcissistic. So you bring it up every now and then, but don't fucking make a thing of it, and you've been doing that. Drop the family stuff. Drop the PC stuff. Drop trying to be likable. That's point number one, which is probably the hardest thing to do because it's in everybody's nature. Oh, I want you to like me. No, I like Hillary more when she's not trying to be likable. When she gives up and she's like, fuck this, and then she starts lashing out, I like that more. Like, for example, in the Benghazi hearings. Now, Benghazi is an issue where she's actually right because there were fucking 8, 9 different investigations. All of them said she did nothing wrong, and the lies from the right are just over the top, pathetic and absurd. Like, she wanted them to stand down and not save the people. She wanted them to die in Benghazi. I mean, that's just obviously stupid and made up. So in Benghazi hearings, we all know when she fucking lashed out and she's got the look on her face like, really, I'm going to sit through another hour of this bullshit. That's when I like you. I don't like you when you're trying to be likable. So stop trying to be likable. Point number 2. Always be specific with policies. Forget platitudes, forget cliches. Honestly, guys, 50% of the time, if not more, Hillary Clinton is all political cliches and platitudes and the whole sunshine and rainbows and puppies and break down those barriers. Yeah, yippee skippy. Enough. That doesn't mean anything. You're not saying anything. What do you think? People in the United States of America are all toddlers? We all want to hear a fucking bedtime story? We're adults. Talk to us like adults. Stop attacking Trump for he used naughty words. By golly. Gosh golly. I don't care. Nobody cares. He's an adult. He's saying adult things. He's running for president. He's not running to be the next person on fucking Blue's Clues who runs the show. Nobody cares. So stick to policies. And by the way, even if I don't believe Hillary when she goes and talks about policies, I have a better chance of starting to believe you a little bit if you pull a Bernie Sanders and all you talk about are policies. If every fucking speech you go up there and you say, we're going to raise the minimum wage, we're going to increase unionization, we're going to, stop outsourcing jobs. If you say that every fucking speech, eventually people go, I guess that's her message. I guess that's what she believes. She keeps saying it. But you use the cliches and the platitudes and people start rolling their eyes. Here we go again with the political nonsense talk. And then the third thing is mainly focus on destroying Trump. Because when Hillary does that, she's right. Almost every argument she uses against Trump, I'm like, that's a good point. So when she's talking about, oh my God, how thin-skinned he is, his temperament is an absolute disaster, hey, look at this, he outsourced his job, so on and so forth, the entire time she's fucking pulling a Mortal Kombat fatality, sub-zeroing his punk ass, and I'm like, yep, right there, yep, can't deny that, yep, that's on point, yep. And again, I'm somebody, I don't like Hillary Clinton. I don't. I know she's too corrupt. I know she's bought by Wall Street. I know that she voted for the Iraq War, she voted for the Patriot Act, she was in favor of intervention in Libya. So I'm not going to like you. The only thing you can make me do is nod my head in agreement more often than not in your speeches when you talk about how the other guy is worse. So that's just my take on it and how I think she can win. And I honestly think the demographic she should most appeal to is mine. Now, that sounds selfish, but I don't mean it in a selfish way. It's not like in any analysis I would say, you should court me. No, it's specifically for Hillary because her best chance at winning the election is courting disaffected Bernie supporters, left independents, and millennials. I'm pretty much all of those things. Now, technically, I'm actually registered as a Democrat because in New York, you need to be registered as a Democrat to vote in Democratic primaries. Believe me, to steal from Trump. I would, if I could be an independent and vote in the Democratic primary, I would become an independent like that. No question about it. But those are the people who she needs to reach out to. Instead, she's reaching out to moderates, phantom moderates, and liberal Republicans, all 8 of them, and Republican elites. I need you to not do that. I need you to go after left independents. I need you to go after millennials. I need you to go after disaffected Bernie voters. And people are citing this bullshit stat where they say 90% of Bernie voters are going to Hillary. No. That's only when you say to people, if I force you to pick between Bernie Sanders, I'm sorry, not Bernie Sanders. If I force you to pick between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, who do you pick? And they go, Jill Stein. They go, no, that's not the question I'm asking. I'm asking Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Go. Nah, Gary Johnson. I'm not asking that. Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. I'll sit out. I'm not asking that. I'm forcing you to pick between the two. Then is when 90% of people go, Hillary Clinton. When you add Gary Johnson, when you add Jill Stein, when you add I ain't gonna vote, when you add write-in candidate to the poll question, all of a sudden, it's only a little over 50%, at most about 60% of Bernie supporters who go, okay, Hillary. Dude, are you kidding me? 40 to 50% then are like, I don't know. And she's not courting those people? I'm telling you, that's what you got to do. You got to try to get those people. And the way to get those people is what I just outlined for you. How do I know? I'm one of those people. And the best line of argument you could use to make me go, okay, you're 100% right here, saying the things I just said.